What's up, everybody? It's the Grand Line Gazette where we talk about One Piece damn near every damn day. And we got a new chapter for y'all. Chapter 1141. We're getting there. These numbers are
We
getting up
are.
there. As always, that's Kev. I'm Corey. We talk about One Piece a lot. Check the backlog. We're going to get right to it. This is a chapter review, and we're going to start with the cover story. Kev?
Yep. Volume 27. Talk about getting up there, dude. We're getting to the climax of this cover story. Oni child, Yamato, and the Holy Inari Shrine pilgrimage. Can't hold back the tears of frustration. So, who's who has somebody on the ground. We've come to the conclusion it's more than likely page one, which is Ulti's brother, which we'll get into an SB on our SBS video. We're gonna break down Oda's new question about Ulti in page one. So be on the lookout for that video when it drops. But I mean, we're seeing everyone else cheer for this in the background. Everyone's kind of behind who's who on this one. But we just went down the list of everyone from Kaido's crew. This is, as far as anybody who's not thought of to be missing or imprisoned, these are the top officers of Kaido's crew fighting it out for the leadership role, basically. So
Well,
that
as
might
to what
be
we're
it.
assume, or like who,
Yeah.
like, in how does this sword come into play? Like,
Hmm.
is this just like a just like a I don't know, like a bragging rights kind of thing? Like, look, I'm not only the only one of the Topi Ropo that are left, but I also got this badass sword
Yeah.
from Curry. I think is the region that they were in. Um,
Sure.
yeah, one of the regions. I'll say Curry because it's easy. I got this badass sword from Curry. Like, look, I'm the boss now. Who you waiting for, Kaido? He ain't coming back.
He ain't going back.
These people think Kaido's dead. These people think Big
Yeah.
Mom's dead. Everybody thinks they're dead except the readers.
Yeah. Which is funny because we actually saw them go into like a volcano, and it's like that should probably kill somebody, right? Like I'm imagining,
Yeah,
but
like you're okay. We're done. We're done here.
we're I mean,
War's
everyone's
over.
cheering kill, so I think it's interesting. I think you're right. The sword may be specific. I mean, he sent them out to steal that specific sword. Why? It's interesting. It could be a Katetsu blade or whatever. Who really knows at this point?
Page one's also chained up. His left leg and his right leg, I guess, and then his arm is also like within shackles. So he's pretty much just sitting there waiting to
Mm-hmm.
die. So we'll see what the whole confrontation was about. Hopefully in the next coming chapters, but we got ourselves like a situation. We got a lot of like breadcrumbs, but we don't got the whole trail yet. You know what I mean?
You know,
But yeah.
and then so we start off the chapter with Nami and Road heading back. Who else is in the ship?
Well, you got Nami Road, and then you got the two guards that they're saving.
The two guards. Thank you. I couldn't remember that we were arresting people,
Yeah.
and so they're taking them back. Nami's pissed off because she came all this way. She left the party and didn't find any treasure. That's got to be pretty frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, she got like sold on the. I mean, you know how it
You know
is. She
how
got
Nami gets.
she got sold on a dream, and then she didn't get any money or anything like that. I think Oda just wanted to start the page out with drawing Nami.
He does love Nami. I agree. Then the next page jumps over to the Treasure Tree tour group, which is Frankie and Ripley. They're basically going down like, wow, that's a clean slice right here on this tree trunk. I wonder what happened. And Ripley goes into it. Each one has a long and rich history of its own. This one was hit by lightning one day, and it went up in flames. And similar to having a virus in your fingers, a doctor will offer to amputate the hand if they can't figure it out from spreading. So the lightning and the fire will spread to the other tree,
Is that what yours
the rest
was?
of the tree.
Something about fingers?
What? No, no, no.
Oh, you just made that
I'm
up. I was
saying
like,
that.
yo, yo. I'm
Yeah.
like, I was like,
No,
yo.
no. I mean, no. That's
I
like
was like,
no. I'm
gosh. I was like looking at this. I was like, damn, where's it, bro? But exactly, that's exactly how they treat it too. And
yeah.
she talks about the treasure tree Adam, how like everybody lives on these branches,
Hmm.
and the village that got I erased, I'll just say, was called Havoc. So who knows like what kind of village this was, if it was even like a chaos filled village or anything like that. Seems like from legend they were always warring, so you gotta assume you got
Yours
names
says
like,
havoc.
yeah, on the branch there was a village called Havoc.
Oh, mine says Haugen.
Hmm.
Haugen.
I wonder if that's
Weird.
what it means.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
that
But I
makes
do
more
want to.
sense.
I do want to take for a second because you opened my eyes to this. Is the branch is hollow. So you said like, hey, maybe people live inside of the tree, not just on it. And it's like, wow, that like ants like do. And it's like, okay, like we could be there.
Because that's not even
I'm
a
seeing,
question that they have now. Because look at the perspective. Frankie can't see the hole in the tree. Like
yeah,
he's on the
wow.
branch in the back. It is kind of weird how these like branches like loop and it's very Yggdrasil from like MCU ish kind of feeling where it's
Mhm.
like just vines that intertwine. But yeah, there somebody could be crawling all up through the fucking Adam tree, and that would probably be the most detrimental thing to happen to the Giants if like something happened to the Adam tree from the inside out. Or there's old carvings in there, and there's even more.
Yeah, and I've seen the weird ominous videos on Twitter where like a lightning strikes like in the middle of the tree and you just see a tree on fire from the inside. Really brings to mind the hieroglyphics that we saw on where a lightning was hitting the base where Frankie was
Hmm.
standing. So interesting. But then we jump over to the Western Village Feast. Usopp is drunk off his ass.
Oh wait, before we go there, yeah, like you
Oh,
said,
so
Ripley's lesson that if you don't cut off a problem at its source, the damage will continue. So it's very important to keep in mind that that is the mentality of the Giants. That will always be the mentality of the Giants. And when we're looking at things that they're trying to handle, like
mhm.
Yarul handling information of the past, Loki, Harold, even Haruden, they're probably going to be directed with that mentality.
And thank you for stopping me from moving because fire and lightning. Ripley speaks specifically about these two objects or these two concepts. We were just recently introduced to two new God's Knights, and for me, I felt like it read to me that Oda was warning me about these two by telling us their powers ahead of time. As you guys have seen from our videos, Kiringham is uh, more than likely the Japanese mythology Kirin, which is a deer that has a lightning attribute. And then I think Saint Summers, I think that could be easily a fire attribute as well. And so be on the lookout for that. I think
Hmm.
I think those two being called to Elbath specifically was not an accident, and I feel like their attributes here will flourish.
Yeah. Just much like how when we saw the Revolutionary Army attack Marijwa, how their specific abilities were very advantageous for their fight because the last thing anybody wants to do is wreck Marijwa. It's already under enough strife. None of the
Mhm.
Gorosei are going to be cool. Well, we don't have a place to live now. Like, so it's like they
Yeah,
could take advantage of that situation. Like Shamrock said, turn this into a game. Now, what context he meant from that, we do not know specifically. But if it's like the context of like, hey, fucking do whatever y'all want, have fun, burn it down, shoot lightning bolts. I
mhm.
don't care, bro. Like, we'd have a situation.
I mean, shit, I automatically went to the native hunting competition. Like that's to me, that's what their game is. But like you said,
Except the
I
only
mean,
thing I say about that is that they are trying to capture these kids rather than just
True.
outright kill them for sport.
True.
But that doesn't mean they can't
Hey,
kill some.
fair enough. But at the same time, like if you're facing a Bulbasaur and you have a Squirtle and a Charmander, it's like one is stronger against this specific opponent. So I feel like that could be as simple as it is. Like, hey, we're actually in a
Speaking of
really tree
Bulbasaurs, like
wooded area.
before we move on to the village feast, like Pokemon. Now I haven't played the last couple Pokemon games. I don't have a Switch or nothing, but I
Okay.
guess Nintendo sued Pal World, that like fake Pokemon game where they were like shooting
Yeah,
guns and run around. And they were like, okay, well, I guess now we got to innovate. So now you can run around when you battle them and stuff like that, and like have your Pokemon like dodge attacks, and it's all about placement and stuff. So it's like, you
that's
know what?
hilarious.
Keep doing what y'all do, everybody, because you're forcing people to innovate. Because we had the
Hey,
same
dude,
Pokemon for 25 years, you know what I mean? And now we're
Power
getting the.
World is nice.
Yeah. I didn't play it, but I kind of wanted to play it, you know what I mean?
Power World is cool, dude. Like everything that you were hoping Pokemon was, Power World had, but they didn't have Charizard. They
Yeah.
didn't have Pikachu.
So
That was it.
now think of a Pokemon version of Pal World, and that's what it looks like in
Exactly.
trailers. And
Exactly.
you know what? I'm an advocate of just. I haven't played it in a long time, man. I don't know all these new Pokemon, you know what I mean? But I
Same.
have a, you know what I mean, nostalgic.
Yeah, yeah. I'm right
Pokemon's
there.
always
I
gonna be
get you.
cool for me. But yeah, moving on to the village during the feast.
So Usopp, drunk off his ass. And he's like, where is everyone? Just because whenever you're drunk, you want to hang out with your boys, you want to hang out with your family. And so he's looking for Luffy and Zoro. And Nami's already returned, it appears. And she's like, hey, they're probably out exploring. So,
He was probably hanging out with Yaro for a while too. He was like, hey, there you are, Nami, check it out. Hey, Yaro, hey, this is my friend Nami. And he was like, hey, how beautiful. He's like, hey, what the fuck? Is this your type of chick?
he's like, I'm actually into older women. It's like, all right, Jarl, you're 500 years old. Like, who's older than you at this point?
Those
But
older than me in age, there's got to be only one person older than him, right?
Lily,
I was gonna say Emu, but right now I feel like it's synonymous until proven otherwise. You know what I
oh,
mean?
sure. It could
It's
be the
like
same. We could be talking about the same person.
exactly like we have this concept of humans and giants getting together, like a love that just is like okay, cool, like, and this is goes back to Fishman Island. This goes back to just whatever, man. Like you know what I mean? Like you're gonna fuck with who you fuck with, and it looks like the implication is that the only possible match for him would be Emu if Emu has Lily's body. There are no women close to him in age. Maybe if we like did some kind of inflation rate, we could give him a like
Mhm.
Kureha and see how that works out. But we got nobody right now. But yeah, Usopp for some reason is agitated by that answer. He goes straight for the weak point. The sword stuck in the dude's brain and hits the sword. Like, bro, he's gonna bleed out. You know?
Yeah, you literally are gonna be. It's gonna be Big Mom Usopp for like enemy number
Yo,
one. Fucking
for the
hell, man,
kids, it's
that's
gonna
great.
be Usopp Big Mom. Yo,
Yeah, but it's even like the way Dory stops and he's like, "Shut up, Dory!" Like this guy is so drunk, and he's like, "Have you guys even tried to pull out the sword?" Like he's like, "No, Why would we do that? Like that's the dumbest thing you could possibly think of."
but in reality, I mean, that is the dumbest thing. Like, if someone has a nail in
Yeah,
their brain, like, and they're like, you don't take the nail out, bro.
no,
Like, you just,
you're not a doctor.
yeah,
Yeah,
put them to
like
sleep.
at the like for those of you who are watching this video after they got impaled, or don't take it out. Go to the doctor. He or she will take it out
Yeah.
and they will stop the bleeding. But don't take it out and then go to the
I
doctor
was playing a
because
game
that's
called
going
The
to kill
Quarry
you.
once, and like there's a scene where this guy like gets stabbed, and you like choose. You're like, you want to take out the knife so you can use it. And one time saw that you took out the knife, and the guy eventually just bleeds out. Like there's a trail of blood everywhere. He bleeds out and dies. Another one, you keep the knife in, and I mean it's painful, but you end up living.
Yeah. Well, it all depends on where it's at too. It's like,
Right there in the kidney.
yeah, yeah. It's like, okay, it's damming a hole that will be gushing if you take it out. It's like,
Yeah, with
okay,
no
just leave it.
pressure, no suture, no nothing. So, Usopp, you're playing with fire, bro. I get it that you're having the time of your life, but you're playing with fire. Um,
Thank God he's weak.
Brooke
He's
is
not
making
like
excuses
Luffy.
for him. He's like, hey, he's just a little drunk. Don't worry about him.
Yeah, but Brooke is also drunk, so that's pretty interesting. But Nami finally just sits down next to Jinbei, and she's like, "Hey, like he's Usopp has been wanting this since he was a young boy. Like he's ever since we met them on Little Garden, all those 2.5 weeks ago."
Jinbei really is the old head. He just be chilling, sitting down, drinking, like watching everything happen and laughing. He's like, all right, well, you guys have fun. I'm just gonna sit here and eat. But Sanji, he's like, where's Gerd?
Yeah,
Gerd.
Sanji's observation hockey's off the charts too. He's just like, "Where's Gerd-san or Gerd-chan?"
Like Gerd didn't
It's like
come
that.
back with y'all, but she is the looks like she is the doctor on the crew, or at least she
Mhm.
is capable of, stitching people up and bandaging them, and she aids the two guards that were attacked by the God's Knights. And while she's
Yep.
doing that, she is talking to Road. Road is trying to cover for Luffy and Zoro, but it's very hard to explain two guards of the castle that nobody's supposed to go in being unconscious with like lacerations and broken bones and stuff like that. So eventually, and her being Gerd, and I guess he has a crush on Gerd. I don't know. She gets the information out of him. Oh, and she hits him with the axe.
Yeah, and like we talked about this quite a bit, but she has the Nami style drawing,
Hmm.
and she has the Nami style like interrogation techniques as well. Like Nami beats the shit out of
That's true.
Luffy whenever he's hiding something. So
Anybody watching, if you
very
guys
similar.
have not, you should look up Nami's original design. She has the axe, she has the leg thing going on. I think she had a robot arm, but maybe I don't know.
I think so too.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. She's got the very Nami look. Then she's like talking to him with her back turned and stuff like that, and then bam, she hits him. She's standing right there. Yeah, this is very Nami-esque.
And then so we leave them. He's just on the ground. He has. We obviously find out later he spills everything, but then we jump over to the realm of the dead with Zoro, Luffy, the defeated animals, and Loki. And we're finally here. We have the key. We have Zoro and Luffy, and we're deciding if we're actually going to go through with it or not. Because
Yeah,
not only does Luffy has to talk Zoro into it as well at this point as well, like right now. I think.
or like Luffy is like yeah, that's what the brunt of this section of the chapter is just their back and forth and them kind of just analyzing the situation. They discovered that Loki obviously he is in a worse condition. He's worse off than when they left him. Pretty much, like they're like, bro, we weren't even gone that long. What the hell happened? And Zoro notices that the shackles are made of sea prism. He examines his wounds and stuff like that by like pretty much just attacking them and being like, yeah, these are real. And all the while, like Luffy's like, nah, man, like I trust this guy. Like you gotta trust me and trust in him. Like, and he's all beat up right now. We can't just let him die like this. You know what I mean?
Luffy is 2 seconds away from asking this guy to join the crew. Like, that's the crazy part about all of this is he literally just wants to ask it. Like, hey, you got a pirate crew you run around with or anything like that?
You should join my crew. Like, if that doesn't come by the end of the, this is going to be a very interesting situation with how Elbaf is left because I don't think Haruden wants to be king. You know what I mean? I
I
think he
don't think so
wants to
either.
be a pirate. So this will be very interesting with where Loki goes towards the end of this.
Well,
Um,
and if we go by their rules, he actually may not have the right to be king either. Like they may have an Albathian system where it's like, no, it's the firstborn son, and or I guess that would mean it's Harlem actually.
right?
But with that being said,
Harden's a
it could
bastard.
be like bastard exactly. But Zoro says this guy is as big as oars. Now that's for those of you keeping track at home. You're talking 60 meters for oars, or little oars junior is 60 meters. Oars is about 66 meters. Your average everyday giants are running around 20 to 30.
So 3 times the size of possibly his brother. And the
Yeah,
interesting part here is after Zoro examines him,
examines.
he's like, well, like he looks like he's dying. So I mean, if he dies, he dies. And he's like, all right, well, you know what? Fuck it. Here, give me the key. He takes the key from Luffy. He's like, we'll take off some of the sea stone, like cuffs, so that he doesn't just fucking die from weakness because his body can't heal itself. Which is crazy. Like, dog, the idea of like you be bleeding out. You're a devil fruit user. You're like a superhuman, but you got kryptonite bands on. He's like, all right, I'll take off some of the kryptonite. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh,
but I mean, maybe he's not wrong here. Like Zoro, I feel like Zoro's pretty keen on like as far as like, hey, this guy's a threat. I think he's more in tune with that than Luffy is. And so I think like these little necessary steps that he's taking might actually be what helps us in the end.
Loki is
Um,
hearing all this as well,
yeah,
especially the part where Zoro says that the meat's plentiful around there. Like, there's plenty of food. Like, these animals are already dead, and Luffy, like, he vocally speaks against it. Like, no, these are
hmm.
my friends. I'm not gonna eat my friends. Like, Loki just he heard that. I just want to make sure everybody just remembers that Loki definitely heard that, and that will be coming back.
Yeah, I guess I looked at it another way is that he heard Luffy defend him, but he also heard Zoro offer up his friends as meals.
Yeah,
So he may not fight Luffy, but he may go after right after Zoro for offering that. But I mean, I could be wrong. He could, shit, he could really hate Harudin. And
yeah,
speaking of Harudin,
but I could
like,
see how that like would be angry, but it's like you're picking your fight with Zoro for that. It's like, all right, bro, it's just food on the ground. Like I'm not connected to these animals. Like you didn't tell me that these were your friends or anything. He said they
oh,
were your
fair.
friends. Like
Yeah, fair enough.
I'll fight you if you want to fight. But don't you got like a Shanks brother to be finding? Speaking
And
of brothers, Harden.
and so we kind of find out with this next Harudin thing is that when you take a ship to the death realm, you lose the island clouds. So once you're in the trajectory of going down, you're it's a one-way ticket.
Yeah,
So I
so
told you the island clouds don't sustain themselves in the realm of the dead.
so yeah, I
So
guess anything under like just normal under it's got to be sky cloud or sea cloud, whatever it's called,
mhm.
the white sea. Whatever's at that level or higher, maybe there's something in that like atmosphere that can, like maybe in like Skypiea, they could have been using those, uh, rainbow like what are those stones
Mhm.
called? I forget.
uh
Painter stones.
Painter stones.
Yeah,
Yep.
maybe in Skypiea they could have been using those painter stones. We just didn't know, but maybe it's an atmospheric kind of thing. But yeah, they crash.
And, but I want it to be known Sanji's here now. So Sanji is with this group, which I find it funny how he ends up being with this group is because he's chasing Gerd,
Yeah,
but he's still here, and so both arms of the Pirate King are are
that,
are
that's
here to
very
help.
true. And
So
Oda
I do
did the
like that.
thing where it's like Sanji didn't meet the left hand of the pirate king yet. He did the thing where it's like, no, Sanji's not gonna meet him until the end. You know when Sanji's gonna meet him? after Elbaf, like you said in the last video we recorded, after they get their new bounties and he is number 3 again, he's gonna meet Yan-san and they're gonna have a conversation.
He's gonna be
Or
number 5.
he's gonna meet him for the first time, knowing who he is. You know what I mean?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, he's gonna be number 5 though, guys. Don't let Corey lie to you. Chopper is actually gonna get a huge growth here. Just kidding. But they crash land. I mean, they pretty good target though. By the way,
My
like
dog's name's Sanji.
oh yeah, for those of you at home, he already had a Sabo, but he recently adopted a new dog. And his name's Sanji. So
I did it for the syllable thing. Yeah. But yeah. So they basically crashed in the boat, but not yet. Luffy's here. So he does
the gum balloon.
The gum balloon. He used to do this to shoot back cannonballs. This is shooting back the gum balloon where he just inflates himself and like he's
4 giants.
4 exactly.
And
4
Sanji.
giants. A huge ass ship with multiple oars. Like, bro, like.
Yeah, I was about to say Sanji, like he's adding 0.1 to something.
The thing is, like, this is like one of Luffy's abilities that he could always do this. He just didn't know he could do it. He just is like, oh no, I've gotten way bigger than that. This is nothing now.
But it's not the end of the ride for them because it's a balloon, not a little cushion pad. So he he flings them as soon as it hits in. It's like and then he just flings them off. So they go flying, but it's not as bad as it would have been. So that's not too bad. So he thanks them though. Harding and Stanson, they all thank him, but they're here to stop him. And to me, that's Luffy's in charge. I get you're trying to be helpful, but you are a part of his grand fleet. I know that Luffy doesn't see it that way, but you should. Like,
but
don't get in my way.
But you're thinking right now that you're saving your whole, like, right now you're thinking you're saving your whole country. You're like, damn it, bro. You're making me choose between you and my country. Like, damn.
So, I mean, this is a common Loki trope is that Harding goes back to ever since they were kids. Whenever he did or said something nice, it was all a lie. So he was a trickster since day one, which he could have been. I mean, dude, kids are kids. Kids are assholes. Doesn't mean he killed his father and set his country up to be like taken over like this. Like, I don't know. But in the final double page spread, Loki is standing up, and this is our background. We can't even fit it all in the background. But Loki is finally standing up. One shackle left on him. And everyone is just enamored with it. It's like, oh, man. Huge motherfucker.
Yeah, but he also says, like, get your hands off Ragnar, but nobody's touching anything. So
he is. He reaches for it in the on the left side of the double page. Like, they're like, Loki. What? I could have sworn he was out cold, and then you see him grabbing the hammer.
Yeah, he grabs his own hammer, right? Or
oh no, I that's Loki's arm. You can see in the what do you mean?
Is that Loki saying, get your hand off Ragnar? Oh, that must be Haruden saying,
I think that's Harding.
Get your hands off Ragnar.
Put Ragnar down. Which, I would love for them to explain this. Why would you leave his weapon right next to him? Was it something like Thor's mythical enchantment where it's like, you can't move it, like it's immovable unless you're Captain America or Thor?
I mean, I think you're kind of on the right track, but this is the way I'm looking. It's like Excalibur, you know what I mean? It's like, if somebody knows the weapon that was used to almost overthrow a country is there and accessible, they'll be like, well, I'll just get the weapon, and now you guys, hey, look, everybody, I got the axe. And everybody in the crowd cheers and shit like that and rallies for war. That's how I'm getting it. But I don't know.
Mhm.
Who knows? I do know that Loki must be the same height as Yar Rule. And that must mean like his dad is also the same height as like Yar Rule. Because they all talk about how tall those giants are as well compared to the others. So
Jarl is about 67 meters, so you're right on track there.
maybe that's the ancient giant blood.
Yeah, right. I mean, Jarl's always wearing that helmet, so we would never see any scars. So if he, and the helmet does have horns built off of it, so it's
Yar
like,
Rule also took his fucking.
it, look, if I'm a king, right? I'm King Harold, and I do this. It's let's take it back to Wano. You have Odin and the Scabbards. If they all had horns and Kaido's like, okay, Odin, take off your horns, I think they would all kind of do it together as well. And I think something along the same lines could have happened here. I think Loki also had horns as well, and he took them off with his dad. Like, I think that was also something as well. But I'm open to suggestions. Fire chapter, by the way. No break next week. So we're picking right back up with Ragnar more than likely. Or Kieranham. But we're still missing somebody, I think.
It does
Still
feel like
missing
there's
somebody.
like a piece missing from this for us to like move on to the next act of Elbaf.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there's still like something that we're missing, something that's going on, and I think we're gonna get it in the next chapter when we see the library. We're gonna see where all that goes. We also have to see where Ripley and Frankie go, because they could either head down here, they could see some shit, or they could see some stuff happening at the library. We could find out Ripley's a fucking beast.
Yeah, and where did Scopper go? Scopper just up and left. Did he go back to be with Ripley? Did he go back to the feast, or did he just go fuck off somewhere until the end of Elbaf? I guess I don't really know
Yeah,
what he does now, but it's interesting to say the least, and I I'm all here for it.
me
I
too.
think Loki's about to wipe the floor with them.
Yeah, it's gonna be well, the others don't even have an option because it's like they're flying in the opposite direction with just as much force as they were coming down with. So it's like you guys are going all the way back up to like the sun realm. You know what I mean? So
Imagine.
it's gonna be like most likely what'll happen is Sanji will jump down now that he knows Gerd's cool. But who knows?
And let's be honest, like a weakened Loki. I'm not saying that Luffy could 1v1 him. Like strength, like height of strength to height of strength. But I mean, we have Zoro. If you add Sanji in the mix, I feel like we can easily put him back in chains
Dude's
as of right now.
famished, has a sea stone chain on, fucking just got stabbed and beaten. Like
And we also have the sun god Nika right here. It's like,
this is like when we first saw Kaido, but he was just blackout drunk. Like there's a
yes.
handicap. There's definitely a handicap, and we're still going to see how far the gap is.
But what did you guys think about the chapter? I thought it was excellent. What were your guys' favorite parts? Did you see the color of that Corey was talking about earlier, where we find out Loki has purple hair? Right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's on the
Yeah,
cover spread that Oda made, so it's official.
that's awesome. I love the purple hair. I think that's pretty tight.
But let us know how you guys feel because yeah, Loki is definitely going to be an intimidating presence. They say one-on-one Kaido wins, but did the narrator know Loki was still alive? Who knows? What do you guys think about the chapter? What do you guys think about Loki? What do you guys think about Straw Hat and his decisions? Also, what's going to happen at the library? Write all that in the comments below, and we'll be back next week.
Peace.